What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I am Papa Pepper, and man, we just had a crazy couple of days. One thing is, a couple times I did make my wife very sad, and then also kind of a whole bunch of stuff went down because of one person. So I guess the easiest place to start is, I don't know, maybe it was either Thursday night or Friday night. I get a video message from a brother of mine, and he's like, "Hey, there's some stuff going on over the weekend." He says, "Are you coming out?" He says, "Because I got some guy here." So there's this guy who checks out our stuff, loves our channel. He's from out west, and he flew in for some stuff, and he was hoping while he was in the general area that he might get a chance just to meet me, to say what's up, to just kind of hang out a bit. And I mean, like, ideally on like the top of his potential awesome wish list of, what he would hope to do was, he was thinking it'd be so cool just to, maybe bow fish some fish. Now, I'll tell you right now, we didn't get a chance to do that. But I was contemplating heading out, meeting up with some people, doing some things. And when I got that message from that guy, I'm like, you know what? He's come a long way. You know what I mean? To get out here in my neck of the woods, it doesn't take me much effort. I was contemplating doing it anyway. I said, yeah, why don't I, that'll push me over the edge. If this guy come on out here and he wants to, just say what's up, hang out, meet me, that type of stuff, I'm like, sure, that's perfectly fine. I got no problem. I like people. I like meeting people. I like being inspired by people. Like inspiring people. Like learning from people. Like teaching people. Like just interacting. It was interesting too, because on the way back last night, what I realized is, for a long time I've understood that I have a real appreciation for all the different crazy creatures out there in the world that God created, and they're so crazy, and they're so cool, and there's so much to them that most people would just overlook and never even take the time to examine and sit there. And I'm more of like a hands-on learner, hands-on appreciator. I'll look at some of the stuff and it's like, that's just amazing. That just blows my mind. And the same thing when it comes to like plants. There's so much in the vegetation and the fruits and the vegetables and the wild and the trees and the grass and the ground coverings and the vines and the bushes. That's just amazing. And I really appreciate it. All these different plants that God made. But then I realized too, I really do have kind of that same appreciation for all the different people that God made, because everyone's an individual. And if you look at all these different creatures and you look at them, even, individual ones within a species, they're just crazy. And when you really get to know them and interact with them on that level, you have this greater appreciation. Same thing with, plants, and then same thing with people. So we decided to take this drive. Knew a lot of people at this gathering, at this event. So enjoyed our time, But then we also met a lot of people. And while I was out there the first day, people were offering us, to put us up overnight. They said, "Hey, if you guys don't want to drive back and you guys want to be here tomorrow, we have these sleeping accommodations, or, we have this cabin rented. We're only using like one of the beds. If you guys want the rest of the house, go for it," and stuff like that. And it's amazing just to see people showing that kind of tangible expression of love and care and concern for you, that they would offer up stuff like that. And I'm like, we think we're coming back tomorrow. It's hours extra driving, but it's best if we go home tonight. I had some work to do on the computer. We didn't have anyone lined up to take care of our chores, so we drove back, got home late, and then headed back out the next day. But on the next day heading out, I was talking to Mama Pepper, and if you saw the video where I had caught my two personal bests, it was the most gar and the biggest gar ever in my life. mentioned in that video, where, you know, my family, anytime we get gar, okay, we don't can gar. We can carp, we can sucker, and try to put up a year's supply in the spring. But gar is kind of like, that's like top shelf. That's like upper class. That's like, you know, A-list. That's like the top of it. So it's like, if we get that, that's like precious to us. So we're like, let's eat it, you know, because it's that good. We don't want to sit around. So I normally cut it up, put it in some lemon juice, put some Zatarain's on it, and deep fry that thing. And we normally either have it that day or the next day. It's quick. We get it, we consume it, we say, yay. That was awesome. And the family just loves it, you know. I love it. It's my top favorite fish right now, even though, according to a lot of folks out there, it's trash fish, you know. But in that video, I was talking about how, you know, I think I'm just going to try to freeze this and see if I can, you know, put in my lemon juice, wrap it up in the Zatarain's powder, you know, and then put them on like cookie sheets and let them freeze, and then put them in a bag so they're all individually, you know, they're not all just one big frozen solid cluster. And my wife was, you know, you could tell she was sad. But I'm going to cook this, well, I'm going to cut this up, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do my overnight marinade in lemon juice or lime juice, and then batter them or bread them in some Zatarain's powder, and then put them on a cookie sheet, and just put them out to freeze, and then, you know, bag them up and wait, because we got some friends who definitely wants to try some, or if we're just going to end up eating them all, because it's hard not to, isn't it? Could tell she was sad. People commented on the video.
Congrats on your largest gar and the most gar caught at one time. You said maybe we should freeze them and save them. I could hear your family's silent prayers for Papa to change his mind. LOL. And 2 seconds later you did. And I could hear their silent sigh.
They knew she was, you know, the family wanted to eat it. And then after we were out there the first day, okay, what we had is a whole bunch of people who, first of all, a number of them take me at my word. I've become a credible witness in their lives, where if I'm saying something and speaking honestly to them, they're going to give me the benefit of the doubt. You know, even recently I was talking to Zach from An American Homestead, and he was like, hey, don't go catch all my gar, you know, out of my swimming hole. And I'm like, well, how many gar have you even caught down there in all the years you lived there? And he says, I'm going to start. He goes, I'm going to start, and I'm going to watch your video on how to cook them, and I'm going to start eating them, you know, because he trusts me on it. Because he wants to take advantage of this thing I found out. You know, I just took it on spec. I said, all right, here's a nice fish with some fins and scales. Let's see how it is. And now it's my top favorite fish. So I got a whole bunch of people I know who also are willing to try, you know, different aquatic creatures, you know, the stuff that lives in the streams and the ocean and the rivers and the ponds and the lakes that's got fins and scales, and that they're willing to try to eat that. So I thought all these people, a lot of them either were raised where they never did any of that, they never were taught that that was a food, that was trash fish, that was garbage, that was something you didn't want. And then a lot of other people, you know, just maybe don't fish. A lot of people don't like fish. A lot of people ain't gonna, you know, go get some gar on their own. So I said, why don't we just take, and we pretty much had 2-gallon freezer bags. I'm like, why don't we take that with us? We got a little deep fryer. I'll bring some oil. We'll plug into, you know, somebody's hookup out there, and we can just sit there and cook these kind of slowly throughout the afternoon and distribute them to the people. All these folks that ain't ever tried it, and at least give them the opportunity. And once again, my wife was like, oh, and I'll tell you what. There's a lot of things in our walk and in our life and in the way that we choose to live where we try to love others. We try to esteem others more highly than ourselves. We try to bless others. We try to, just show concern and care and stuff for others. So this is an opportunity just to kind of like step back from what we would want. I would gladly gobble it all up, you know, with my family. It'd be a meal or two if we really, you know, filled ourselves with them. And I would absolutely love it. But here is an opportunity, something that we are getting more accustomed to. And here's the thing too. In my entire life so far, I've caught 8 gar on a fishing pole. Okay, I've bow fished a couple. Probably only 4 or 5. I jug fished one, and I went out with red pepper and caught 1 gar. I went out with monster truck and caught 3 gar. Oh, and then I went out the other day and caught, yeah, 5. So that was actually 9. 9 gar I've been able to catch on rod and reel in my entire life. Now, gar is my top target species for making food for my family if we're going to be eating fish, and I absolutely love it. Now, eating fresh fried fish, fried fish anyway, it doesn't have to be fresh. Gar is fallen in that category. To have a canned salmon or canned tuna substitute for like tuna salad or tuna salad or like salmon loaf or salmon patties. Now we make carp salad, carp loaf, carp patties, stuff like that. So, carp helper, right? Instead of tuna helper. That falls in a different category of fish. It's canned fish. So it's my number 1 target species right now, and I want to become very skilled at it. That's why, although I've got a lot going on here, and even I'm about to head up in the garden, take care of some business. If you guys want to see another garden tour, I can show you some really cool things happening out there. But also know, I've been working more lately. I still got a lot of responsibilities that are outside the garden, and I have been investing some time lately with this fishing stuff, learning how to fish gar. Now, the one time I took my daughter out, Red Pepper, because we were near somewhere where a gar hole was. We happened to be there. I said, hey, let's go do this. We did it. It was great. The other time, the other time we were also near somewhere. Mama Pepper had a baby shower to go to with the girls. So we dropped them off, and then me and Bugger and Monster Truck, the boys, went gar fishing because we were near a hole. And the other time I was coming home from work, and my workmates wanted to go try some fishing at that spot on the way. So all those times I just happened to be in the area. I'm not at the moment just taking off from home, driving away to go catch gar and then come home. But when I have these opportunities, I want to master the skill. So anyway, I am catching gar. We are eating gar. We love gar. I was also finding ways to store them up so we can have, fried fish later, hence the frozen bags. Here we have this opportunity. I said, why don't we just take them out and bless these people? And of course, my wife is like, yeah, that's nice for others, but what about me? Not that we didn't get to munch on some throughout the day too, but we just tried to nibble a little bit and let others try. So, cool thing is, we went and took this trash fish. We went and took this thing that a lot of people just don't think is food, and we fed it to all sorts of people. And there was even, some folks from Texas who were like, I was always raised that ain't food. And I'm like, hey, you want to try some gar? And he goes, gar? Nah. And I'm like, eventually I'm like, hey, are you sure? And then eventually he did give into it. He tried it and he loved it and he thanked me for it. But there was a lot of people thanking me for it in person. Some people shooting some messages back of just appreciation.
Wow. What a blessing. Thank you so much, brother. That was the best. All the family enjoyed the fish, and a couple don't like fish. Incredible, brother. Love the videos.
And with both the canned carp stuff and with the eaten gar, you wouldn't believe kind of what an influence is kind of coming out just because of us trying a couple different things. And nobody really taught us, this stuff. I just went into a gar and figured it out, Where's the meat? How does it look? What do we do with it? Same thing with the carp. It's like, okay, well, let's try pressure canning it. Okay, hey, wait a minute, that does smell good. Oh, wait, that does taste good. We just kind of experimented it. But now that we found that stuff out, we can share that information with others, and others can be blessed because of it. And we're definitely doing some of that. And I don't even know how many people ended up eating that gar I was cooking over the weekend. But they did. And now I have to go catch some more gar. I know some people lament that their wives won't let them go fishing. And I'll tell you what, if my whole deal in fishing was to drop tens of thousands of dollars on a boat and on gear and to go out there on the lake and try to catch a 10-pound bass so I could take a picture and let it go, maybe my wife would be like, can't you do something more productive with your time? I get that, you know what I mean? But we knew very early on in our relationship that when the fridge and the wallet get empty, it's time to go fishing. That's a good opportunity to go fishing and get some food. And early on, I taught Mama Pepper that, and she stands by that. She done a lot of fishing herself, caught a lot of different species, And then also, frequently tells us periodically, like, hey, you guys should go fishing again and catch some more. Which is awesome. That's how backwards we live our life. I don't have to complain that my wife, won't let me go fishing, but she's actually begging me to go fishing. And I'm having to, okay, I guess I'll go back out there to the lake and try to catch some fish or whatever it may be. I say that jokingly, but when you set things in order and you understand things and you do things right, you can wind up in a situation like that where your wife wants you to go fishing. We just gave away our supply of gar. Now I know more about how to take care of it, how to preserve it, how to have it on hand just ready to go, where you just heat up the oil, grab some out of the freezer, drop them in, and you got a meal. I love that, doing the prep work ahead of time and then being able to fit something as amazing as gar into our our meal plan just like that by grabbing some out the freezer. So now you'll probably see me do some more gar. You will. I don't have to share those videos. I don't have to make a video of it. It's easier for me if I don't. Some of that stuff I'll have to take like 2 hours worth of footage and edit it all down just to pull it out. When I went with Monster Truck gar fishing, I think I had about 2 hours worth of GoPro footage to edit through. It's easier for me not to, but for those of you who do appreciate that and like seeing it and like learning stuff like that, or just even sharing the experiences with us, it's important to us. As I said in that video, I waited a long time to do that with my son because he was having some behavioral issues, some stuff where he was on restrictions, if you will, where the regular stuff we do, the learning, the chores, the eating, the daily devotions, the homeschool work, the everything like that, he's going to be included because it's part of our life. But the extracurricular stuff, the hey, let's go have a fun time swimming, or let's go have a fun time fishing, or stuff like that, he wasn't able to participate in some of that. So when I was finally able to bring him back by my side for some adventure, for some fun, I absolutely loved that. That was amazing. And now I got to go back fishing again. And he'll be able to come. That's awesome. So interestingly, because of this one guy, not only did we get to hang out with some friends and make some new friends and do that multiple days in a row, 2 days in a row, but also we depleted our entire gar supply. I made my wife sad. Now I have to go catch gar to make her happy. And I think you're probably going to get a chance to see Mama Pepper try to catch her first gar in the near future. I think she wants in. I think she really does. It's kind of like when Pinky Pepper started her hunter safety stuff because she wants to be able to shoot deer. Pinky understands raising sheep or goats or things, the effort you put into it before you get a return on that investment. And if she can grab a gun or a crossbow and head out in the woods and bring back a deer, she's in. She's down. She wants that meat. She knows how good it is. And she doesn't mind putting forth effort. And compared to, raising animals, it's a lot less effort to go hunting. Well, Mama Pepper knows how tasty this stuff is. She knows what a wild time we're having. And she's not, I'll be the human net for her. All she's got to do is, catch them and reel them to shore. And I'll jump in there and grab the thing. So I look forward to some of that too. And I don't know, I guess kind of the bringing this video full circle is it's okay to shortchange yourself sometimes. To say, hey, I'm set up pretty good, but I could also bless some other people in this situation. Because we had a good supply of gar, that we had a couple meals ready to go for ourselves, we were set up pretty well. But I was able to go and introduce a lot of people to this, and there was a couple people who don't like fish, and they're like, oh, thank you so much for that. That was amazing. I had no idea fish could taste like that. And again, I consider it to be like the way we do it, kind of like a chicken tender, chicken nugget type consistency. It's not like a flaky fish. It's different, but it is a food fish. It's not trash. It's not food. But then also, because one man was like, hey, I would really like to get to see you if I'm this close. We said, you know what? Yeah, we can make that happen. We can make that happen. And because of that, not only did we get to spend some extra time investing in a bunch of relationships we already have established by just hanging out with some friends, but we got to meet quite a few new friends too, and I think that is awesome. That was a lot of fun. Definitely got some new people we met that were a joy and a blessing to us already, just in our minimal interactions. So if we have chances to cross paths in the future, I look forward to that as well. And then all these people got to, be blessed trying this other food they never tried simply because one man's desire just to, you know, hang out with us a little bit. So in the end of it, I definitely appreciate the opportunity to overlap lives. A lot of our lives overlap digitally by you guys watching these videos. We have for living in the middle of nowhere, we have a pretty good reach. You know, we have an audience, and people who care, people who are interested, and people who appreciate, and that means a lot to us. We're never going to get a chance to meet y'all in person, but we thank you for spending the time on that side of the screen as we spend on this side, and for all of your comments. And yeah, like even Struggler's Farm. You ever see, we met them in person, I met them in person. But you ever see the comment section sometimes? I joke sometimes about people joining the 2-comment club, where you leave 2 comments, because if you like the video and leave a comment, it helps the YouTube algorithm, the artificial intelligence, realize, hey, you know, this is making an impression with people. And the more likes we get and the more comments we get based on how many people watch it, the more it gets recommended to others. And that helps us have a greater reach. And, you know, as well, this is part of what we do to provide for the financial needs of our family. So it not only gives us a greater reach, but then a greater income as well, which is crazy and cool. And I love it that it only really costs you guys time in watching this. And I hope that it's more of an investment in time rather than a waste of time or just spending time. I hope it's an investment. I hope there's things that you glean from our videos which can affect you in your real life and hopefully better you, better your family, and stuff like that. But yeah, Struggler's Farm will drop like 8, 9, 10 comments sometimes on a video, and definitely appreciate that. That is so cool, and it helps. So now I've got to find a way to make my wife happy, and I hope that one man appreciates it, because I know we definitely appreciate the fact that he wanted to meet up with us, and a lot of other people were blessed because of it. And I'll tell you what, I may have done completely different things these past couple days if it wasn't for him saying that to me. You know, my friend hits me with a video call, asks if I'm coming out. The guy sitting next to him was like, man, I'd so love to meet you, and stuff like that. If that never happened, the entire weekend may have been a very different thing for us. But instead it was huge and full of blessings. And now, part of my secret is now Mama Pepper doesn't have any gar. So she's going to want me to go out and get some gar. And that's going to work out just fine for me. I guess I can do that for my family. I can. If I got to head out in the swamp bow fishing at night, or if I got to head out with my kayak and some jugs, or if I got to head out with a fishing pole and a cast net and get me some minnows and catch some gar, I guess I can do that because I love my family. We'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching. It's the left fun.